Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hey everybody, it's Anita back again this week with another podcast episode. And I decided to tag my thoughts onto last week's episode. I had a special guest, Will Mark, and he and I talked about what do men really think about women over 40. But you know what? I thought this week I would give some of my thoughts and some of my advice for women over 40. And I just wanted to add to last week's conversation. So this week, we are in episode number 87, and it is entitled, My Thoughts on Women Over 40. Okay, so I'm going to speak a little bit on what I have heard men say in my travels and listening to men. But I'm also going to give a little bit of advice to women over 40 today, too. And what needs to happen to really ensure your dating and relationship success. And the game is a little different, especially in 2020. So if you are over 40 and the year is 2020, things are a little bit different than when you were dating in your 20s. I know I've experienced this and I'm 52. So things have really changed on the dating and relationship landscape. We have a whole new technology that people 40 and up did not have when they were in their 20s. I kind of miss it, to be honest, and I don't want to sound like one of those over 40 women who's talking about the good old days and all of that, because I do believe the technology we have has really improved our lives in so many amazing ways. And, but it's also hurt us. Like, we have to be honest about that, especially people over 40, over 50. Like, we see it. We see how it has also hurt us as well. So we have to be honest about that. There's a lot of great things that come from it, and then there's a lot of not so great things that have come from it. And it has really hurt how we engage others. And honestly, a lot of my clients who are in their 20s that I'm coaching and have therapy with, they've even mentioned it. And they were technically not brought up in a time like myself where there was none of this. So I find that so fascinating that they don't know anything else, and yet they have noticed, man, this is awful. Like, this whole thing sucks. I don't like it. So that's, my brief thoughts about technology and how I'm going to do a podcast episode on that, how technology has really changed the game when it comes to dating and relationships. I'll do a whole nother episode about that. But let me jump into today's episode. My thoughts on women over 40. And then I'm also going to give you ladies over 40 some advice, some things to think about, and to really some food for thought. I just got finished reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. Great book. One of the biggest thing I took away from that book, and there were many, but this was one of them, where he wants you to assume that you're wrong, right? He wants you to assume that you're wrong, that you don't know. And the reason why I like that is because we stay open. We stay open to learning and growing. Assume that everything you know or thought you knew is wrong. Keep your mind open. That's one of the biggest takeaways of that book. And I also saw a post on Instagram that said, yeah, you can't learn or grow or get anything new if you believe you know everything. Like if you've already made up your mind about everything, there's no growth there. There's no place to go. There's nothing new to learn. So assume that, you're wrong. You don't know everything, that your way may not be the right way. Stay open to learning and growing. That's advice for anybody, not just women over 40, but anybody. Really pay attention to that. So I broke it down into three categories. This is what I've noticed when I talk with men about this and their thoughts about women over 40 and some of their issues or concerns. So I broke it down into these three categories. There may be more. Remember, these are my thoughts and opinions on any given day. I'm sure later on after this or later in the week, I might think of more. But for today, I broke it down under three categories. The first category is baggage. A lot of men believe that women over 40 carry baggage. So whether that baggage is children, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, ex-lovers, their hurt, their pain, the drama of their life or whatever is going on. That is one of the things that they believe is not so appealing, that women over 40 have this baggage. And what's funny about that is, okay, so everybody who lives for any length of time is going to leave a footprint. Like they're going to have experiences. They're going to meet people, date people, love people. They may have children. They may have been married and divorced. But to me, that's just the consequence of living, right? So I find it interesting when people say that. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some toxic situations that I would definitely say, yeah, if a person has a lot of toxic situations, if they've made a bunch of bad choices and now, the consequences of those choices are now brought to you, that's a whole different story. But in terms of thinking that women over 40 have baggage, so I'll talk about myself. So I've been married before. I had 3 children with my husband, and I am now divorced. I've been divorced 17 years this year. And would I consider that baggage or me having lived a life and made good choices or what I thought were good choices for my life? Very normal, healthy choices. And some of those consequences, things didn't work out. It wasn't what I expected. But would I consider my life like baggage? Not really. So, ladies, if a man kind of has that attitude, take that with a grain of salt. I mean, for the most part, I'll be honest and say I've made some pretty good choices. I'm a business owner and I work for myself 100%. I am the boss. Every dime I make, it comes through one of my 2 businesses. And, it took 52 years to get here. My therapy practice opened last year. So it took 51 years for me to get to that goal, which I've always had. I've always set that goal of one day working solely for myself. Every dime that comes in comes from me. And here I am. So I believe I've made a lot of good choices. I've made a lot of mistakes too. Do not get me wrong. I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm pretty transparent about them. I have had other men that I've loved and dated and, that those relationships didn't work out. But would I say that, a life well lived is baggage? No, I really wouldn't. But okay. So I keep an open mind. I'm listening to men out here. The second one that men have brought to me is health and fitness or a woman's looks. So they believe once a woman is over 40, that basically she starts to let herself go, right? She gains weight. She doesn't eat great. She doesn't exercise. She doesn't look as great. She doesn't keep up with her hair or her nails or toenails or whatever they like. I've even had some men, I'm going to be quite frank here today, but I've even had some men talk about women not keeping up with their hygiene and what a turnoff that is. So, I got to be honest here. I'm going to be 100% honest, but just, some things that they've noticed that they've considered a turnoff. Some men have also talked about women's, menopausal symptoms once they get up to my age and, sex not being as good, sex not being as fulfilling, or women having low sex drives, etc. And so again, all of these things are going to happen really to everybody. Like it's just a matter of time that, again, if you live any length of time, some of these things may happen to you. I definitely gained weight when I was pregnant, and then I got pregnant again with twins. Um, but I will say this, I am a fitness fanatic. I am really conscious about what I eat and working out 5 days a week. Um, I definitely want to believe that for the most part, I keep up my looks and my health, and I'm really aware of that, especially now that I'm getting older. I really am aware of how important it is that I take care of the only body that I have to live in. So I've also encouraged women to do that as well. And then some of it is high self-esteem, confidence. So because I love myself, because I truly, genuinely love myself to pieces, I take loving care of myself. I want to look my best. I want to smell my best. I want to do the things necessary, and I do them for me. I do them for me. There's no man involved. These things that I'm doing, they're all for Anita because I love myself. I like myself, and I want to feel good. I want to look my best. And, I do it for me. So I definitely encourage women to do the same, that it's not even about having a man. Take care of yourself. Choose clothing that fits your body well, that looks nice, that's feminine and soft and accentuates your figure. Um, Take care of your hair. Take care of your skin. That's another thing I am fanatical about, and I have gotten on my own two daughters about. Like, don't put makeup over this bad skin. Don't do that. Like, take care of your skin. I don't wear a whole lot of makeup because I take such good care of my skin. So I'm real funny about that. I'm real funny about my teeth. People have told me that, how obsessed I am about my teeth and making sure my breath smells good, my teeth are white, my teeth are clean. Um, I do whatever I need to do to make sure my teeth and my skin and just everything is presentable and nice and sweet and soft and feminine. So I get that, and I do encourage ladies to dive into that self-care, look and feel your best, but do it for you. This isn't for anybody else other than you. And then the third category, and I must admit, they might have a point here. I'm not mad at them. The third category is that masculine energy. That masculine energy woman who believes that because she's over 40 and she's accomplished, she's degreed, maybe several times over, she has businesses, she has high positions or whatever it is she does. So work, accomplishments, degrees, okay, that somehow makes her like top of the line, high value woman. She's putting all of her eggs in that basket, right? So I don't understand why I'm single. I've got a car, I've got a Range Rover, and I've got a big fancy house. I've got degrees, I've got a business, I've got a high paying job. I got this, I got that. And I will give them in this because I speak to women about this also, that don't nobody care about that. A man doesn't care about that. You're doing those things for you, and as you should. There is nothing wrong with any of those things. But when it comes to connecting with a man, when it comes to connecting with a man's heart, that doesn't have anything to do with it. And ladies, I'm only telling you this because I lived it. I had to wake up to the fact that, okay, all the things that I do and have and all of that, it's for me. What attracts men to me is not those things. It is being soft and sweet and feminine and allowing them to give to me and do for me and being truly appreciative and truly loving and truly sexy and truly sensual. That's it. And yes, the figure doesn't hurt. The looks don't hurt. The sweet smelling fragrance doesn't hurt. The beautiful clothing doesn't hurt. None of the pedicured toes don't hurt. The pedicured fingers don't hurt. None of that hurts. But it's really a vibe. I want you to keep this in mind, that the feminine energy is a vibe. And you don't have to be a perfect size 3 or, have the Brazilian butt lift or the plastic surgery. I mean, I don't have any of that. Okay. I'm not getting any plastic surgery. I'm not getting the Brazilian butt lift and I don't have weaved hair. I don't wear wigs. I've even let my gray show. But the feminine energy is a vibe. It is a whole vibe. It is something that the man can't even fully put his finger on, but just being in your presence is intoxicating. And it makes him feel good. He feels good about himself when he's with you and when he's away from you. Like he remembers that. He thinks about that. Like, man, I don't know. I just can't get this anywhere else. I've got to go back. I've got to get more. That's what the feminine energy vibe brings to a man, especially out here in the world if he's a truly masculine energy man. He needs that. He needs you like air, like water. So that's what I teach my women over 40. I really work with them on the masculine energy. That's what I believe my women over 40 are struggling with. And as far as the baggage, what they're struggling with is they are struggling with all of their experiences, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment. And it is hard for them to love as if they've never been hurt. It is hard for them to be the girl, like to be the sweet, soft, almost naive girl. It's hard for them to be that because they've seen so much, they've experienced so much. And so to come off like the 19-year-old girl, the sweet, soft, funny, oh, you're so funny that no, they don't do that well because they feel like, been there, done that. I've heard all this crap before, all this mess that you're talking. I don't want to hear any of it. Go on away with that. Stop all that. So their response is very harsh. It's very brash. But what I want you ladies to know, I want you to find that inner girl. Find that little girl, heal her, get back in touch with her, get back in touch with what she likes, what she doesn't like, get back in touch with being flirty, being fun, right? Doing things that make you feel good. Get back in touch with her. And then learn how to express it in a feminine way. So when a man is doing something I don't like, I don't have to jump into the harshest, hardest tone I have. I'm like, oh, that I don't really enjoy that. Or no, I don't participate in casual sex. That is just not something that truly benefits me as a woman. See, I say it, as if, almost like, oh, you're not expecting me to participate in that, are you? Almost like surprised, So I'm not angry. I'm not angry with when a man I just meet asks me for sex or implies sex. I'm almost like, really? Is this really happening? Certainly it isn't. I always keep it classy. I always keep it classy. I keep it sweet. I keep it feminine. I act like surprised, like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe you're suggesting that you would want to sleep with me after 2 dates, after 3 dates. Or, oh, are you really suggesting that I come over to your house? We don't know each other. That wouldn't be smart of me. That wouldn't make me feel safe. See, these are all the ways that you can express the same thing without cursing him out, without being angry, without your tone being harsh. You can express exactly what you want to express in a feminine way, in a totally different way. And I really encourage you to do just that. Because remember, being feminine, being soft on the outside, right? So it's soft and sweet on the outside. It's like cotton candy. Ooh, cotton candy on the outside, but inside is cold, hard steel. So you could go to punch it and your hand will hit that cold, hard steel. What looks soft like cotton, you go to punch it and your hand hit that cold, hard steel. And it's like, not happening. That's what I want you to be. I want you to keep that imagery in your mind, that on the outside, what people can see is soft and sweet, and warm and inviting. But as soon as some behavior comes, some bad behavior that you don't want, that's when they're going to hit that cold, hard steel. And really, it's words that you use. Yes, it's tone, but it's also actions. What I need you to understand more than anything is the cold, hard steel is what you do. right? It's what you do. It's not all that talking. I don't do all that talking. I don't go back and forth. I don't argue. I don't defend. Oh, no, no, no. Please don't defend yourself. I want you to give up defensiveness as a response. And let me tell you, this is a practice. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. Some people are naturally defensive. I have a 17-year-old daughter who is naturally very defensive. But I'm talking with her and working with her on give up your need to defend yourself. Like, that's over. You're done with that. One of the expressions that I give to a lot of my therapy clients, and I can't remember who said it, so forgive me. I want to give the person credit. I can't remember who said it, but it was grow more comfortable being misunderstood. Like that's a journey you have to go on. You have to get more comfortable with being misunderstood by people. Stop defending yourself. Like, give that up as a whole. And I get it. It can be very difficult not to do that. It can be very difficult not to go into some form of defense mode. But it's a practice you want to start. Definitely if you're over 40. You want to start learning how to say no as a complete sentence. You want to respond in the sweetest, kindest tone ever. But the words you're using are very assertive. They're very direct. So I tell a man very directly, just like I did the other day, when a man who approached me on a dating app and wanted to engage me romantically, and his life was a mess. I was like, oh, your life is a mess. You need to get yourself together. You really need to focus on yourself. You're not ready to engage anyone romantically. You don't have really anything to offer. And healthy people, relationships are reciprocal. What you're speaking of is you want a woman to take care of you, and I'm not her. That doesn't work for me. See? That's it. But your words are very direct. They're very assertive. They're delivered in a way that is kind and is sweet and is feminine. But what you're saying, is very direct and assertive. And it's straight and to the point. No, I'm not going to come over. That doesn't feel comfortable to me. And again, you're not going to go into defense mode. You're not going to explain anything further than that. But I will tell a man if he does not accept my no. I think the most I'll defend is, you not accepting my no is quite a turnoff. That's maybe the most I would offer up, is I would let him know that him not accepting my no is kind of a deal breaker. I don't feel safe right now because I'm not allowed to say no. You continue to hound me. You continue to beg and plead and ask me to do something that I've already told you I'm not comfortable doing. That doesn't feel good to me. Okay? But it's how we do it that is so important. So here's what I think some of the benefits are of being a woman over 40. I think women over 40, and I'm not going to say all of them, so let me not generalize because I know there's some folks out there that are ready to, jump into the comments or leave me a comment. So not all of them, but I do believe that a good amount of women over 40, we have class, we have style, we have experience, good and bad, that has helped to color and shape us to not continue to make those bad choices over and over. And I think that's really great. One of the things I'm going to do a separate podcast episode about is you need to know that knowledge applied equals wisdom. And I may have spoken on this before, but you get knowledge, you get new information. This is Miles Monroe talking here. Knowledge and new information plus understanding that knowledge and information plus applying what you know and understand equals wisdom. It's that third piece that people really struggle with. They really struggle with applying what they're hearing and what they know to be true. So if you're listening to my podcast, if you're listening to other dating and relationship coaches, if you're looking at this YouTube video or listening to this YouTube video, it is not enough to listen to every single episode of the podcast. There are 87 episodes. And every single episode, if you garner something from it, you must apply it. That's how you're going to see the change. That's how you're going to get what it is you say you want. You have to apply it. You have to apply it. But I find that women over 40 are more laid back. There is a lot less drama. There is some sexual experience there. And it's not from sleeping around. Don't go there. It's not from sleeping around with a bunch of different men. I believe if a woman was married for any particular length of time and she got a divorce or her husband died, yes, she has sexual experience that a woman who is 20 or 21 does not have. I believe a lot of women over 40 have a higher sex drive, which I think is great for men. Okay. There's a goddess energy to a older woman, a woman who's over 40. There's this confidence, this knowing that, I know who I am. I feel good about, the choices that I've made, good and bad. They've shaped me. I've learned from them. But there's a confidence that women over 40 have that younger women don't have. They feel good in their skin and in their body. And I know for me, I'm going to be honest, my self-esteem, my confidence, it has only skyrocketed as I've gotten older. Like, I know who I am. I am not afraid to walk away. I am not afraid to leave something that does not mirror my value, my self-worth. Like, I'm not going to stay in situations that aren't good for me anymore. I'm kind of over it. And here's the thing, ladies, if you're over 40, so I'm going to link to some of the podcast episodes I want you to check out if you are in fact over 40. But one of the most important ones is episode 77, how to avoid time waster men, because you don't have that kind of time. I know for me, I am qualifying men in 3 dates. 3 dates. I am qualifying if this is going past 3 dates or not. Speaking of that, episode 85, dating men to disqualify them. I need you to check that episode out because you don't have that kind of time. Women in their 20s, yeah, they give a guy 5 years, 7 years, 9 years. They have time on their side. You do not. So I know where I am in life. You get 3 dates. You get 3 dates all day. If anything pops up in those 3 dates on my don't want list, we're done. If you get to the 3rd date and we're golden, like nothing has popped up on my don't want list, then I have to go to the conversation of, what is it I hope to garner from dating? What is it I hope to garner from being out here, dating and going out and getting to know men? And that is marriage. I am a wife. And so I don't want to be a girlfriend. I want to be a wife. And I make that very clear. May not be you. It may not be the man sitting in front of me. Those are Anita's goals. Okay? It's just like when I say, I'd like to live in a certain part of town or I'd like to drive a certain car. That doesn't have anything to do with you. Those are my goals. You don't have to provide those things. I'm simply sharing them as desires that I have. And I make it very clear to men up front, yeah, these are desires that I have. And if he feels like, oh, wow, well, I have to provide it, I have to do this or that, or I have to provide all this stuff, okay, he may not be the guy for me. That, he may be just a little too, a little too sensitive, a little too insecure or non-confident. He's not the man for me. I want him to understand that every desire I have is not necessarily for him to meet. And I understand that men are givers and doers, and I definitely have those conversations with the men that I date. I get it. You're a giver, you're a doer, and you want to provide these things, but I also don't want you to feel the pressure of, everything my little heart desires, you have to provide. I'm a grown-up. I can buy myself flowers. I love your flowers. Man, do I love receiving flowers from a man. I love receiving jewelry from a man, and then sometimes I do those things for myself. I'm open either way. That's where I'm at as a woman over 40 and I'm over 50. So I'm in a good place. I'm in a good, healthy place. I feel good about myself. My self-esteem and my confidence is high. I just feel amazing. And I'm even getting to the place, which this is kind of scary for me to say because I would love to be a wife again. But I'm even getting to the place where just the other day I was telling a male friend of mine, this is going to sound really crazy, but I thought the other day to myself, what if I don't get married again? Would I be okay? Would I be happy? And in that moment, when I asked myself that question, like I didn't freak out. I didn't freak out. I didn't feel a wave of sadness. I felt okay. I felt like, you know what? I think I'm going to be okay. If I don't get married again, if I, let's go here. If I'm not in another relationship again, like I think I'm going to be okay. I think my life has purpose and passion. And there's so many things that I enjoy that, I would keep living. I would keep doing that. I would keep being in a state of joy. I would be content. And, I'm going to be honest. I would love to be married again, if not for any other reason but to make love with a man again, because I am not having sex outside of marriage. But sure, I would love to be married again. I would love to share my home, share my bed, share my life with a good, healthy, masculine man. But it was just so interesting to me that in that moment, and we're just sitting outside, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll be okay. I think it's not the end of the world. Like I'm not going to crawl up and die if it doesn't happen. It was an epiphany. It really, really was. And I just leaned into that. It felt good. It felt comforting that it's going to be okay. And my life still has so much joy, so much purpose in it. There's so much for me to do still. So, yes, I think as you get older, especially if you've learned from those lessons, okay? Learn from the lessons, apply what you learned, become confident, trust yourself. So many women tell me they have trust issues. And honestly, it's because you don't trust yourself. But here's the thing, ladies. The fastest way to know if you've learned a lesson and you've applied it and you've gotten stronger is you've got to go out there and do it again. You've got to go out there and test it. So if you've been hurt, if you've been heartbroken, and you've listened to all of the dating and relationship coaches and watched all of the YouTube videos and listened to all of the podcasts, and you feel good and you took notes and you work with a therapist and all of that, none of that does you any good if you don't get back out there and apply it. So while you may be getting all that knowledge and sitting somewhere in your apartment or your car right now thinking, yeah, I'm good, I'm great, I've learned, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Okay, let's put that to the test. Let's put that to the test. Let's get back out there. Let's get back on the dating app. Let's go out on some dates. Let's practice the feminine communication that Anita is teaching you. Let's learn how to say no as a complete sentence. Let's soothe ourselves when that anxiety comes up when a man pushes against our boundary and we have to hold the boundary. We're not going to know what's really in you until it comes out of you. And while you think you're in your power, sitting there, not dating, not engaging men, not going anywhere, not doing anything because your husband's going to fall out of the sky, or he's going to deliver your next package or your next DoorDash or your next Grubhub, the truth of the matter is this: you've got to step out on that branch. And I'm going to be frank. I'm going to be 100% transparent right now. I did it. I took time away. I did some work. I was abstinent. And I did that work and I stepped back out there. I started engaging with men. I started dating. And there was one man that rose to the top that I dated. And guess what? There were some things that I vowed not to do that I did. I did it again. But again, I had to learn. I had to go out and test my skills. And guess what? Some of those tests I didn't pass. I fell prey again. And so now I'm like, I got more work to do. I got to get stronger. I got to keep going. And so here I am again, out here again, making sure that I am truly applying everything that I'm learning. So you failing tests is not to beat yourself up. It is not to say, oh, I was supposed to be remaining abstinent and, I met this great guy and we started vibing and I slept with him. Okay, it happened. It happened. I need you to pick yourself back up. I need you to analyze, okay, something happened. I fell prey to something here. Was it going over to the house late at night? Was it having him over my house? Really think about what happened, what led to falling back into some old patterns, what led to I want to remain abstinent and now I'm sleeping with someone. What led to that? Like, we have to keep going. You don't get to just quit and then beat yourself up and it's what it is. I'm going to keep doing this. No. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep learning and growing. And that's where I am again. But I believe if you keep applying and you keep getting out there and passing the test, see, that's when you get more and more confident. Like this past year, my confidence has skyrocketed because I have passed some really amazing tests. It feels good. It feels so good to tell an ex no. It feels so good to tell a new man no, or to just walk away, to have no rebuttal, to not defend myself. Oh my God, it feels amazing. And I want this for you. I want this so badly for you, where you are learning these skills, but you're actually applying them. You're getting good results. You're speaking up for yourself because you matter. That's what I want for each and every one of you. So, to my ladies over 40, what I believe is one of your challenges, there may be many, but I believe it's that masculine energy. I believe it's a lot of women telling me I was raised by a single mother and she made it happen and she told me to make sure I make it happen, and that, if there's no man around, you make it happen for your kids, you make it happen for yourself or whatever. And it's that. I want you to come back to your feminine energy self. I want you to apply that only with your dreams and goals outside of your relationship. But you have to learn how to shed that when dating, when in your relationship, and when in your marriage. You're going to shed that, not all of it, but a good amount of it. You're going to shed that. You're going to shave it down. And you are going to allow that masculine energy to balance you. You're going to allow that masculine energy to give to you and do for you. So when you're at work, do what you do at work. But in that interim of work and home, I want you to start shed that masculine energy. Take that coat off when you come in the door and allow your husband, allow your man to meet you with his masculine energy to your feminine energy. And relax. Remember the self-care, the self-love, touching yourself and taking care of yourself and really getting down deep into your body. Take your head off. Unscrew your head when you come in the door. When I'm taking a bath or shower, I am in my body. When I am listening to music, when I'm dancing, I'm in my body. When I light candles or when I'm meditating, when I'm praying, I'm in my body. When I'm walking out in nature, I'm running, I'm in my body. That's what I want you to do. Reconnect to your body. That's where the good stuff is. And that's what masculine energy men are looking for. They're not looking to go head to head, right? Your brain against their brain. They're not interested in that. They are interested in connecting with you from your body, from your heart. That's where your good stuff is. Regardless of your age, remain the girl. I am the girl. I am fun and free and flirty. I'm the girl. And I love to laugh. I love men that make me laugh, right? I love to be complimented. I love to be given gifts, and I love to be, taken out and treated. Be the girl. Relax. It's super, super important. But at the same time, so that's on the outside. That's the cotton candy, sugary and sweet and soft and looks all fluffy. But on the inside is all the experience that you've gained and garnered over the years. On the inside, you're nobody's fool. And see, no one has to know that but you. No one has to know what I've been through or what I've dealt with but me. But you can best believe my boundaries will reflect it. My boundaries will reflect what I've been through, what I've gone through, what I've learned, what I've applied over and over, the mistakes that I've made. That's the cold, hard steel. That's also the part of me that has birthed 3 children into the world. That's also the part of me that have, gone through a master's program with 3 children under 5 years old. That's also the part of me that, makes things happen every month. I make ends meet or whatever has to happen. That's that inside part of me. But on a date, oh no, I am cotton candy, sugary, sweet, soft, pink, the whole 9, right? Oh my gosh, I am just, yeah, that's who I am when I'm on a date when I'm with my guy. That's who I am. I am delicate as a little China doll. And I act as such, and he treats me as such. I am vulnerable. I am appropriately vulnerable with people that it is safe to be vulnerable with. This is what I want from you. Okay? And remember, if I ever have to hold a boundary, I do it in the most feminine of ways. And really, it's my actions. I don't even, give a lot of words. It's my actions. If I tell a man that the way he's speaking to me or the language that he's using is offensive to me, I say that in the most feminine of ways, and then I may disappear. Because it's my way of saying, I really don't appreciate that language, or I don't appreciate your harsh tone. I don't appreciate being cursed at. I show it over telling it. And then he goes, okay, I see, you don't like being treated. No, I really don't. It burns my ears when you use that language. But it's your actions. That's what women, they are missing, is they love words. And so they want to use a lot of words, but that is not the language of men. The language of men is your actions. It's what you do. That's when they know you're serious. Like you're not playing. You're not kidding. That's what I want you to keep in your mind the whole time. Okay? That's the cold, hard steel on the inside of you. And that is the way men and women are. So the anima, right? So that's the feminine. That is inside of every man, and on the outside is the animus. So what you see on the outside of a man is quite the opposite. He is cold, hard steel. He is strong, the strong, silent type. You see strength, you see all that on the outside, but really on the inside of a man is incredibly sensitive, incredibly tender. And let me tell you, these breakups, these divorces, they hit a man hard. Much harder than us. We bounce back. They don't. They hold on to this forever. But for us, on the outside, our bodies are soft and curvy and, we're all sweet and nice and, we appear to be weaker, right? They love to say the weaker sex. But let me tell you something. On the inside of a woman, the animus, the strong, cold, hard steel. Okay, the ability to birth children into the world. Not many men would sign up for that. The ability to have heartbreak after heartbreak. We have something inside of us that's very strong, and yet we continue to love again. We continue to try again. So that's the appearance I want you to give, ladies, especially those of you who are over 40. Soften the outside of you. Get softer. Take care of yourself, love yourself, like yourself, approve of yourself, accept yourself. Get healing. Get healing so that you can get back in touch with the little girl that's inside of you. And you can bring her to the surface. So that fun, flirty, happy-go-lucky, that's what I want you to bring to the surface of you. I want you to smile when someone says something funny or they smile at you. I want you to feel good. That's what I want you to get back to. But get the resources needed. Work with a coach. I am still taking one-on-one coaching clients. Work with a therapist. Do what you need to do to heal so you can get back in touch with that little girl and feel good again. That is what I see with a lot of women over 40. They're really letting their life experience, especially the bad experiences, kind of weigh them down. And no, I want you to stay forever that girl. Be the girl forever. I will never stop being the girl. I will never stop dancing. I will never stop, appreciating a man's simple gestures. I will never stop smiling when I see a man that I am, attracted to or am dating, and appreciating him and what he gives and does. Yes, I will be doing that forever. So those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comments or how you feel about what you heard. Some areas that you want to work on, some areas that you're really struggling with, and consider reaching out to me. Head over to the website, www.betterlovemovement.com, and sign up for a coaching hour or half hour, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Right now, we are still doing the codependency recovery coaching call. That is the most affordable option for group coaching, but we are specifically talking about codependency. That will be going on through the end of July. And then towards the end of August, I will start a feminine power mastery coaching because I'm trying to get this course up and running. And so once that course is up and running and people can start purchasing that course and taking that course, the group coaching is going to be for if you have any questions, comments, you need specific advice, or you need specific information. That's what that group coaching is going to be. It is going to be super affordable. It is not my regular $100 an hour rate. It's really, really affordable. So be on the lookout for that. And, but if you would like to sign up for the codependency recovery call, if you want to sign up for I think there's 3 calls left, I will put that link in the description box and join us. Please join us. We are learning so much about codependency. And as I always tell people, I have lots of clients that suffer from codependency, like 80% of them. So we all have some sort of codependent trait that we need to start working on. We need to start healing so that we can have that healthy love, that healthy relationship with our romantic partners, as well as our family members, our children, our friends. This is something that affects all the relational areas of your life. So that's why codependency recovery is so, so important. Thank you so much for being with me today on the show. I appreciate you all. Ladies, keep being the girl. Get in touch with that girl. Heal her. Do whatever you need to do to bring that little girl back. And thank you so much for listening. And as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.